Let me record this. Okay. So does anybody know how to go live on YouTube and share their screen? Because that's what I'm trying to do. Hook everybody up, go live on YouTube, share our screens. But I couldn't figure it out. So we'll just do a live Zoom call until then. What's up, Rob?
In quanto a tocar no meio.
What's that?
E depois, faltou eu.
What's that? Okay, so if you do have, what's up, Tiago?
Hello, sorry.
What's up? So I will be muting everybody just because you know, it's gonna get crazy in here.
Ronan, my man.
What is up?
What's up, buddy?
Hey, how's it going, man? I figured I'd surprise you all.
Killed it today, bro.
Once we get into the charts, you know, just ask the questions. I'm going to have to mute everybody, but if you can prepare what we look at or anything, just put the question box, and I'll go over the questions too at the end of the day. And if you're watching on Instagram, go to my story swipe up, and you can join our Zoom call. So I'm going to go ahead and mute everybody. What do y'all want to look at? I'm going to go over to gold. I'm going to go over to the dollar. I'm going to go over to pound, euro, and if anybody has any questions. What is that? All right. Here we go. Muting you guys. Sorry, got to do it. So if you have any questions, ask it. And
You're always muted.
There, everybody's muted. Sorry. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen with y'all. Got a new little office space here, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, if you are watching on Instagram, go to my story, swipe up, and you can join our Zoom call. And yeah, we'd love to have you. So let me get my screen. Yeah, okay. So here we go. We're looking at gold first. So you can see, if you've been following my my analysis on gold, this is still a big bullish formation here. So we can go to a weekly chart, and we can see how this is more a healthy dip, right? So there's still the chance that we go and we retest this breakout point. So this is such a massive breakout on gold that, like, we have to look at it on the weekly chart, because that's the scope that this potential has for this huge move right here. So we broke out from this consolidation from 2013 to well, this year 2019, and so here we are, right? So this is a bullish pennant formation. Like, you could go on Google Images, type in bullish pennant, and this is exactly what you'll see. So the odds that we're going to get a push higher after this big flush out is pretty big. Okay, so I'm going to have to, I don't want my computer to die. Sorry about the technical difficulties here. Let's go. Fuck. Oh, damn. Spilled my coffee. All right. So now you see shit like this happens to me all the time. So I'm going to hop back on here. I'm looking at gold right now, man. Let's see. There we go. The show must go on. Let's finish this thing, and then I got to clean this coffee up. So So we're looking at gold here. And if you just hopped on IG, swipe up on my story and you can join our live. So this is what I'm looking at, right? So we have our resistance here. And this is at least the top of the last high, right? And so we just got this move here. The question is basically, was this the last low? So there's two scenarios that could happen here. And it's pretty likely that this would happen, that we get a push lower here before we got the move higher. But so you can see from this fractal point here to this fractal point here to this fractal point, that's how I got this level of resistance that we're at. And the fractals come in super handy for this, right? So you can see how we broke above this line, right? And then we've retested here. So this is huge. Tomorrow we have retail sales for the United States. And I've been saying all week it's been super, super slow. I've been saying, oh man, you know, the breakout's gonna happen. Hey, Albert, yeah, go to my story and swipe up, like, and the link's in there, man. So yeah, so you can see here whether or not the retail sales come in good. If we get a super bad number, you know, this is going to be pretty bullish for gold, right? So I was looking at this today and I was like, man, so we broke down here, but here is the top of the pennant line. Okay, so we're really not that far from it. If we break back above here, we don't really have much further to go to this downtrend line. You know what I'm saying? So then that's the next breakout point that we're going to be looking for. If we can break out above this, depending on what happens with the dollar tomorrow, it's going to be a big deal. Now, then we have multiple layers of resistance that are going to be stopping us on the way up. So it's not going to be a rocket ship, easy. But, I mean, it's gold, man. It could be. We are literally one headline away from just shit hitting the fan with, you know, the Trump impeachment, with the trade deal with China. I shared it on my Twitter that, you know, it does not look like any trade agreement's actually going to happen, in this whole phase one deal isn't even going to go through. So once that gets finalized, and if that news happens, man, it's going to be gold is going to scream higher, and this is what I'm hoping for, right? So that brings me to my next point, and we're going to have to look at the S&P 500, right, to get a broad view of equities in the United States, right? So once we get this to turn around, if it turns around, right now we're at such a make or break point, right? We are just like stalled out in front of this massive formation. And if you just joined us on Instagram, go to my story and swipe up. So if this deal doesn't happen, gold's definitely going to go higher. Yeah. Go to my story, swipe up, and you can join us on the Zoom call. But the thing is, we're camped out right above this layer of resistance here, right? So this formation is called a megaphone formation, right? So you can see how it looks like, you know, like a thing like, you know, the cheerleaders in the basketball game would hold up. And this is a throwover, right? So we've broken out above this resistance. Now, if we break down below it, and the catalyst for that, so we are trading in, sure, there's technical analysis going on, but right now it is so heavily weighted on the fundamental analysis. That's why it's so important right now to be in touch with the news. as far as the S&P 500, as far as the trade deal, as far as impeachment, as far as interest rates, as far as the Federal Reserve. I mean, technicals and price action are very major for sure. But right now, it's like headlines that are ruling the market. So 100%. And what I'm saying is we are one headline away from this either massively breaking down and breaking back inside here, which would be a massive move. And there's so many fundamental reasons why this would happen to the S&P 500, to the stock market. It's the question is, when is this going to happen? Because the country in the United States specifically is just overburdened with debt, with credit. It's very similar to 2008 scenario where, you know, shit hit the fan for the economy. So that's already happening in Euro, with the UK and Brexit, and there's social unrest everywhere right now. If you look at Hong Kong, what's up, Troy? How you doing, man? Long time no see. If you go to Hong Kong, man, shit is crazy right there. I mean, they're not even covering it on the mainstream news. It's super violent, protests everywhere, you know, police brutality, you know, it's both sides clashing super hardcore. And, you know, so that, and there's a lot of people saying that and wondering what's up, whether or not China will jump in. If China jumps in, what's up, man? How you doing? Go to my story, swipe up if you want to join us. If China jumps in, then shit is going to go next level with the situation in Hong Kong. That's going to affect the trade deal. That's going to affect a lot of human rights stuff that's going on. And, you know, people are going to be like, how can you sign this trade agreement with China when, you know, this is all hypothetical, but that would be a huge catalyst to drive gold higher, bring the stock market down, and usher in a lot of safe haven asset buying like Japanese yen. So the thing is right here with this chart, we're not moving any higher. We hit all-time highs, and we're at some major resistance here. So the thing is, RSI is divergent, but I mean that didn't even matter with the S&P 500 anymore. But we are showing some serious weakness on the RSI here, and you know the thing is, it needs a huge catalyst, like a trade deal gets signed and it's like an actual resolution, and that's going to push it higher up, targeting 3,200, or a trade deal, or the trade deal falls through, and really that's what I'm betting on. I'm betting on the trade deal falling through because we got Trump there, we got China there. Trump can't agree on anything. He's a wild card. I'm not trying to be political right now. I'm just saying that the odds are that he can't come to agreement, so he plays like hardball and puts more tariffs on China or even Europe, is a much more likely scenario than a deal gets pinned and everything's all good. The only thing that would drive that would be the fact that he's about to get impeached, or possibly, I mean, the trials and stuff does not look good. I watched it yesterday. And so he wants some sort of resolution because we're coming into an election year. So that's my rant on that. So the thing is, the S&P is a key significant player. And if we break down back inside here, gold's going to scream higher, and we're going to have a serious turnaround in the market. So if we're talking about risk off assets, so we talked about gold, we talked about the S&P 500, and, you know, if you're tuning in for the first time, this is my whole philosophy about trading. You know, technical analysis is good. You know, trend lines are awesome. Fibonacci's great. Support and resistance is good. But once you can realize that everything is this massive flow chart of money, it's flowing out of the euro, it's flowing into the dollar gets hammered, you know, the Fed lowers interest rates, so it flows out of the dollar and flows into gold. And that's where we've been for the past few months. And now we were out of gold, and now it's coming back in. So, you know, once you can realize that everything is connected, it becomes a lot easier to pick winning trades, for sure. So I've had this chart drawn like this forever, man, forever. And like it's played out beautifully, right? So we have this flash crash here, which was last December, if y'all remember. That came from Apple earnings report. So from this support and resistance line of that flash crash to this fractal here to these fractals up top is this massive line of support and resistance, right? Because we're trading. That's why it's so good and so important to go to these larger time frames so you can get a bigger picture of what's going on, right? So all we have to do is extend this out, and you can see how close it is. You know, it's more or less on a weekly chart, things get a little different, but we're from there. We can go all the way back to here. And so we're on the backside of this giant, massive triangle formation, right? So this huge, and just like I showed you, the megaphone on the S&P 500, this is like the inverse of that. So you can see we had a huge drop down, bounce up, some movement in between, and here is a breakdown. So just like if you know about trend line breaks, this is just a massive trend line break and a retest. So let's go back to our more short-term view of this and go to 4 hour. And so you can see that's why, you know, because when I draw these and people are like, dude, your trend line's going right through the candles here. But that's because I'm using these fractals as a map to find these really, really intense and powerful support and resistance levels. So here we are, we've broken down and we're below, and we're about to close in 30 minutes. The New York session is going to close, and this is going to be a super, super important close because we're closing below 108.5. So 108.5 here. This is a huge bull bear line for the market. So now when you find these massive levels, you know, you want to go out, and you want to go out to your weekly time frame, monthly time frame. And if I do that, look at this. Look how perfectly this support level and resistance level, it's now resistance level, is, right? I mean, it's perfect, right? So this was support and now resistance. And so now we are closing below this level. If we get gold to rally further, if we get you know, some more dollar weakness, if we get the S&P 500 to drop, you know, next target easily is 107.67, right? So we have this cross trend here. So we have a nice X formation, and we're at 107.50. We're targeting that. And look, you know, you could go crazy with the lines here from this lower one, and we're already trading below it. And in fact, hola amigo. In fact, we've dropped down below, and you can see we're actually retesting this here. We get a retest. I mean, it's pretty much already there. And then a push lower, that's going to be a sign to I'm going to go big on that trade. I'm not saying I'm going to go crazy, but I'm going to feel pretty good about the bearish momentum on that trade for sure. Because the thing is, the S&P 500 has been pushing higher, but the dollar yen has been non-existent. So so we have the yen paired, dollar yen pretty much pegged, and so now we can go to across all the time frames, right? Here's EJ breakdown. Here is, out of all the pairs, GJ is the most resilient. And so that tells me when I see that, and we're talking about correlations, that tells me that the pound dollar is going to be the preferred long. The pound dollar is going to be an excellent, excellent long position because look, here's GBP JPY. Here is, I showed you EJ. Let's go to, what's the next one? Swiss yen breakdown. We had a great sell position here. We almost hit our 100 pip target, and you know I'm very confident we will hit it. Here's AJ, complete slump. And so why am I telling you this, right? So by now you should be like, damn, like everything, the yen is kicking everybody's ass except the pound. So then when I notice something like that, I'm like, all right, so what's going on with the pound and where can I buy the pound? And so this is a great scenario here. Multiple levels. So on the surface is we had this huge breakout, and just like gold, right? So just like the pennant formation on gold, you know, it's not from a, it doesn't look this way because they're correlated, but just so you all can get an idea of kind of a pennant formation, you see this here, right? And this is a consolidation pattern after a breakout. Let's go to gold. And you can see how similar this is to, you know, the consolidation on GBP USD. So pound dollar looks great. And, you know, you have, we got in a great trade in the VIP group. And let's see where we're at. So here's our entry. We've got multiple entries on it. Flag, pennant, for sure. It's very, very similar. So right here, we bought at the bottom of the flag or pennant, whatever you want to call it. We bought down here at the bottom. We broke out above these fractal lines. And then we retested again. And this was a great opportunity for me. I said, oh, well, okay, so here we are. We can add here, add to our position. And now the upside of this target is still the top of the pennant here. Once we break out above that, man, it is going to be like, it's going to be rocket. For GBP USD. And, you know, really what I'm going to be targeting here is 50% retracement, which comes in at 1.3150. But I personally like this, which is, I mean, the 61.8 is at 1.34. But right here is the neckline of this double top, right? So what does that mean? So here is the double top, and here's like the neckline, right? So that's the top of the head of it. And so this is a major, major resistance level, and that comes in at 133. So anywhere all around here, 132, because you can see this level of resistance. And just like everything else, man, I mean, we are one headline away, Brexit, some sort of deal that's going to push this higher. So it's very, very volatile trading conditions out there for sure, big time. So let me check the chat box if I can find it. Okay, so I don't know where the chat is. It's all right. So last but not least, I want to go over Euro USD. Let me see if it's here. I don't see the chat. Sorry, everybody. All right, so let's check out Euro USD because you all don't want any silence going on here. And this is the next big deal. So we're going to look at this, and then we're going to look at the dollar index and wrap it up because I need to get out of this office and clean this coffee up that I spilled everywhere at the start. Dude, so just so you know, I'm clumsy as fuck, man. My day's been great. So yeah, this is a double top too, right? So just like I shared on GBP USD, you can see how the depth of how far that this has fallen equals roughly the second line of the top here. That's kind of a rule of thumb. It doesn't always work out that way because it's trading and that's how it is. Nothing ever works out all the time. But you can see this is right through the middle of this descending wedge here. But I was looking at this the other day and I said, okay, well, this doesn't make much sense because we're right through the middle of this top. What if I followed these fractals here? If I followed these fractals here, this is a very, very nice descending wedge. And I remember distinctly when this happened, and this was a false breakout. So this was a false breakout before we broke down further. If that's the case, then this is our breakout. This is our double top. And this is just a retest. This is a retest of the backside of the trend line. So we are still broken out. And now we're waiting for, this dollar weakness to continue if it does. So I'm super excited about it. But the next target, unfortunately, Euro has been in a tight trading range, but 1.1130 is a great target, which is going to be kind of the upside of this double top. But the thing is, look where that leaves us. We haven't even touched the bottom of this huge formation. So we have so much upside on Euro USD. And man, once this gets confirmed, once we start moving higher on Euro USD, gold breaks out, that's going to push this way higher and super fast. And that's going to be one of the catalysts. It's going to be when everything shakes loose because until today, the trading was very, very slow. And it busted out today and we caught a bunch of pips. But once this does happen and we're getting close to Christmas, we're getting close to holidays. And usually when that happens, a lot of stuff happens, right? So when like last year, let's just go back to the S&P 500. I don't know if you all remember this, but this was where we at on Christmas? October, November, December, right at Christmas was when this finally broke and bottomed out. December 26th, right? So, and I mean, God, I wish I bought at the bottom here because, dude, Jesus Christ. I mean, that's a huge rally. So next time, my plan is I want this to drop down inside this throwover line, which would mean it's a false breakout, which would mean one of my sayings is false breakout usually leads to a breakdown. And if you go by that rule of thumb and really live by it, man, you could make a lot of money trading for sure, because usually it happens I didn't sign into my VIP account on here. There we go. So, but usually that happens. And if that's the case in the S&P 500, except Twanza, if that's the case in the S&P 500, man, it's going to be, I want to get short right around the same time. And somebody asked about the Dow Jones, the US 30. It's very, very, very similar to the situation here, right? So this is the chart. We're over the top of this throwover line. What we're waiting for, hopefully, is a breakdown back inside here. Back inside here. I'd love to see a breakdown and be able to get short down here, have a huge, huge collapse, buy gold, get long in gold on the collapse, and then buy the dip on the S&P 500 or the Dow. And if like I was so caught up last year in the S&P 500 dropping that I wasn't like, dude, we know that it's going to go back up. If I just wish I'd bought the dip down here. So yeah, I'm talking about some FOMO I had for sure. But man, if I bought the dip down here and we're up here now, first of all, I probably wouldn't have held it that long. So that would have been a good lesson, but that would have been a game changer. So what I'm saying is I'm trying to think ahead that if this happens and I get long gold and I wait for gold to top, and I know this looks like a top in gold and this looks like the bottom in the S&P, my whole game plan for the next 6 months is look for this top to happen. Hopefully it breaks down inside here. You know, this is not going to be good for the economy and, you know, people are going to be hurt. But I'm just talking about my game plan on how to capitalize on it. Look for gold to top from this whole breakdown. So buy gold. And then once I'm like, this looks like the end of it for gold, and it looks like the S&P 500's found a bottom, then buy the dip. And buy the dip. It's going to be beautiful and it's going to be epic. So I hope you all found this video helpful. I was trying to go live on my YouTube channel so everybody could like see the charts and stuff. So if you're watching this and you know how to share your screen on a YouTube live, and you can tell me how to do it, I'll give you a free month of our signals because I can't figure it out. So that's a pretty good deal. So you can message me, hit me up. What's up, Ricardo? And yeah, so thanks for watching. Agent session starts here soon. And tomorrow, retail sales, we're going to crush it. It was a great day today. Thanks for all your support. And yeah, let's get it and finish the week strong, everybody. So I'll post this video, post a recording of the video too for anybody that missed it. Peace.